What's up, Colorado Realtors? I'm Scott Peterson. Thank you for joining me for another edition of Legal Bites. If you can't tell by the dark circles under my eyes, I'm a little weary of being pulled in a lot of different directions with regard to policy and things sort of changing on a dime in the wake of real estate and this COVID virus. So I am still under quarantine. That door still is closed. It's Wednesday, the 8th of April at 3:45 in the afternoon, and I'm pushing this out here because we've had kind of a breakneck of developments, and I'm going to give you as much of an update as we have as of this moment with regard to the real estate essential business or critical business within the governor's state order. So this is what I've got as of right now, and this has been, to say fluid would be an incredible understatement. So as many of you guys know, at some point last week or over the course of the Friday and the weekend and into Monday, the Attorney General very clearly indicated, or the Attorney General's office very clearly indicated that showings specifically were not part of of a real estate transaction as defined in the governor's amended executive order. And so we talked about that in Monday's Legal Bites, and was a little bit frustrated by that, obviously. And we do believe and have been advocating that, responsibly, that sort of period from the exclusive right agreement and through the closing and delivery of possession of the premises, that sort of spectrum of events is what is part of the real estate transaction. A showing is a part of a real estate transaction in the sense that you don't have a transaction without a showing. But nonetheless, Monday it was clearly we were clearly described by the Attorney General's office that showings were not contemplated. And then yesterday at the Real Estate Commission meeting, the regularly scheduled Real Estate Commission meeting, there was a variety of public comment related to the showings not being permitted, and the Attorney General, the Deputy Attorney General who represents the Real Estate Commission, was in attendance at the meeting, and the Commission asked her to address some of the public concern. And at the Real Estate Commission meeting yesterday, it was very clearly put that showing a property, conducting an open house, performing an inspection, or performing a walkthrough of the property in person during the COVID pandemic violates specific mandates of recently issued executive and public health orders. So the upshot of yesterday morning's Real Estate Commission meeting was that in addition to showings, walkthroughs, inspections, essentially any in-person activity were not part of the real estate transaction. And in fact, the description of what included a real estate transaction was exclusively confined to the actual closing event itself. So theoretically, a broker traveling to and from a closing itself. And again, very clearly articulated by the Attorney General's office yesterday morning at the Real Estate Commission meeting. And so, I've been talking to a variety of people through the hotline and a couple of different, larger association groups through Zoom calls over the last 24 hours and have been expressing where that has been going. Also knowing that the Division of Real Estate was going to be giving some specific guidance to licensees statewide and regarding the fact that showings, open houses, inspections, walkthroughs, etc., are not part of the exception to the critical business description, and they shouldn't be performed by Colorado real estate licensees. And so when that started to occur, or after that occurred yesterday morning at the commission meeting, obviously, Carr and our government affairs team and Liz Peets and our lobbyist and leadership at Carr went and started working to try and work through the governor's office to obtain some additional information. I mean, at the point that we have been where, theoretically no in-person events can really occur other than a closing, obviously, we're not just talking about the ability of the realtors to perform their functions and to close transactions, but really significant potential harm to consumers. And so our government affairs group has been doing a great job, I think, in advocacy. And we also got together in the last, since this morning, with a number of other industry stakeholders, and LTAC, Land Title Association of Colorado, the CMLA, the mortgage lenders, the home builders, the Banking Association, a variety of other stakeholders that, because of this very narrow interpretation that was given by the Attorney General's office, were going to be impacted as a result of the business limitations, the functional limitations of essentially real estate transactions being put on hold. And so that's where we've been. And then about an hour ago, maybe a little bit less, maybe just a bit more, the governor of Colorado, Governor Polis, was holding a press conference, and a reporter is apparently working on a story to demonstrate some very legitimate potential consumer harm to specifically buyers who are not able to close and won't have a place to live, and was pressed by a reporter on the issue, and essentially, if I'm characterizing it correctly, said that almost all of those activities are in fact okay. I don't want to say showing specifically, but I think he certainly referenced inspections and walkthroughs and some additional in-person activities. And so, in the meantime, for a variety of the people that we've talked to, either through the hotline or through other Zoom platforms and everything else, my emails and texts and everything else, I just got another one, has been sort of blowing up with people saying, well, what's going on here? There's so much confusion. And folks, this is the difficulty in the situation that we're currently in with regard to the velocity of how everything is happening. And honestly, the messaging confusion that is difficult, among the governor's own attorney general's office in terms of how are they interpreting this order, and is that consistent with what his expectations were? I'd like to think, and candidly, I feel confident to think that some of our CAR's advocacy efforts and some of the other partner stakeholders' advocacy efforts is having an impact, and that we are able to actually push through some of the message that a very, very strict interpretation of a real estate transaction as just limited to being closings is something that is potentially very harmful to consumers, obviously to our members, to a whole host of other trades associated with a real estate transaction, and as a result, the Colorado economy as a whole. So my non-update update is this, and I know you guys love breaking information. You love having, and that's, I love you for it. But as of right now, what I'm going to assume is going to happen over the coming 24 hours or so, and maybe sooner. And if it's sooner, then I'm going to come back in here in my jammies tonight and do another update for you. As soon as we get clarification on what exactly the governor and their attorney general's office are going to be interpreting with regard to activities that you as a realtor can carry on that are within the definition of a real estate transaction under the governor's order, as soon as we get that clarification, the moment we get that clarification, I'm going to, even if I'm just out of the shower, I'm going to run back in here, and you get what you get. As soon as I get that, we're going to come back and update you. But in the meantime, for everybody that's saying, hey, what's going on? We're giving you the information as quickly as we get it, and what we're getting is information that is ostensibly from a very accurate source, but it seems maybe there's a little bit of confusion with regard to what and how that governor's order is being interpreted. So there you have it. We're at 3:53 on Wednesday the 8th. And like I say, as soon as we get additional information, we'll be back at you with that information. Really appreciate your patience, appreciate your interest in all of this. I know it's so important to you guys, and we're trying to just keep in front of it. And so hopefully at least you find that to be helpful, if not entirely confusing. So take care, guys, and we'll see you very soon on another edition of Legal Bites. Thanks so much.